Welcome to episode 7 of Learning Programming. This is big. This marks 7 days in a row I've been making progress on this, which is the biggest streak I've done for game programming, at least. So I'm really happy with that. It's been this streaming and talking makes it a lot more easy to focus. I'm gonna check my phone. So today's a big update. Instead of a white rectangle, we're gonna be adding the sprites. Well, I'm going to be making the sprites, and then, I'm hoping we can get the animation and the sprite cycle for the player ostrich to be done by the end of today. Well, not necessarily done, but just like if by the end of today's stream we're looking at an ostrich on the screen, that's a success. There is one thing I wanted to change. I was thinking that this not that it's big change. Well, you know what? I was going to take this player 1 off and just have player, but I think it might be kind of cool to eventually add like a 2-player PvP sort of thing. So maybe I will just keep it. So I downloaded these references. Very tiny. So this is the Sprite reference for the player 1. So it looks like it's just 6 or 7 sprites total. There's 4 walking ones, a breaking one, and then 2 flying ones. And if you look closely, you can see the head of the ostrich here is kind of straight up, and then it's straight up, and then it's a little bit back and a little bit back. So that gives the illusion of like the ostrich kind of like strutting along, which is cool. I've got this app called Sprite, which is good for like pixel art and stuff. So that's how I'm going to be making the new player sprites and everything. So I haven't used this too much, so you might have to bear with me figuring it out, because I already want to do a new layer. Here we go. Oh, there we go. So, there we go. So this is the reference, and this is, or I guess it's just, we would say, I don't know, player sprite. So this is chopped up, and one thing I was noticing, I had the calculations for 16 pixels wide, 16 wide by 20 tall, but on this reference, it's actually 24 tall, and then this is 16 by 16. So, the one I got the 20 pixels from was this picture, which if you look at the shading and everything, you can tell it's kind of like something different. Like, I don't know if it's a legit, like maybe they made Joust for a more complicated computer than the Atari or whatever. But I'm going to go off the 24 tall ostrich instead of this one, which we can change right here. So in our ostrich class, see, so that's kind of cool. Like, I think that was like all I needed to change. Well, and the render for the rectangle right here. Oh no, it's already referencing its height parameter, so that should be good. And then this, instead of 17, this is actually 16. It's a perfect square. Let me see if that looks like it worked okay. Oh, you know what? See, so this is why no. It might be okay. I was thinking this was a magic number or something, so I would have to update it, but it looks like I did it correctly, so okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that was an easy fix. So now that they're 24 pixels tall and 16 tall respectively, 24. So it initializes at 24 tall, and then if I'm in the air, yeah, if I'm not grounded, it's 16 tall instead of 24. So let us start the magic. Let's do. So it's like there's only so many pixels here. So it's like, do I just trace over it? It's like I don't want to just trace over it or change the color scheme. I kind of want to make it my own, you know? But with 24 pixels tall and whatnot, there's only so much it looks like you can do. That's cool. It kind of picked out this palette for me already. Let's pick out, like, how do I do this? Okay, for the player, we should do a greenish. And then ostrich, we can make him a little more, tan or whatever. And then body, bright blue. I mean, I don't know how much I can change it much because there's such little pixels, you know. But if I get this as like a starting point, I can kind of mix it around, switch it up a bit. So if there's the blue, there's got to be a better way. Yeah, there's a paint bucket here. G. It's like I don't know how to reference. It's because it's on a different layer. I guess it's not bad to just draw it all. It'll be easier. It'll be easier to just duplicate. Yeah, let me just delete this. So, I guess one thing I'm wanting to do is to delete all of this black space so it's transparent. So I'm looking for like the magic wand tool or whatever this has equivalent. I'm not really seeing it though. Should be like a select oh, there. Magic wand tool. Right click, remove. Okay. Yeah. There we go. So the idea here is that each of these sprites are 16 pixels wide. So in the game I can say here is the one picture for all of the player 1 sprites, and then set up quads every 16 pixels to give me all of the different frames. And it actually matches up here in the grid, you know, right here on the color change. So that's nice. Let us paint bucket our blue color. I think Joust was made in 82, meaning it's a 40-year-old game. Is that right? That's crazy. So yeah, we're at least changing the color palette a bit. I think this tan needs to be a little darker, closer to the original one. looks a little green, doesn't it? What if we make him like a deep red or something? That'd be cool. Does that look awful? Maybe like a less saturated but darker color red. Kind of looks purpley. I don't know. The brighter it is, the better the contrast is to see. So maybe we do make it brighter, but I don't want it to be pink, but I want it to be brighter, so ooh, that's too stark, huh? Almost like Spider-Man colors. I don't know, it's kind of cool. Wow, look at those legs animation when they're crossed like that. Because if it's like, if this is the left leg, then this is the left leg, then this is the left leg, and this kind of comes across. But then they kind of swap. I don't know, that's interesting. Yeah, I kind of like this red and blue. I think the blue can be a little darker. But maybe we color in the rider first and see what that's looking like. Because it's like, is that really what it looks like? Like a blank one right there? Kind of interesting. Unless I messed that up. Yeah. Okay. There's that little space there. At least in this, I don't know how accurate this is to the original, but it seemed pretty legit. So yeah, we got. Let's color in this. Oh yeah, that doesn't look very good. Yeah, maybe we do like a pale yellow. Just like, yeah. That's kind of cool. And we can, actually, probably a good idea is to do a black layer underneath, just so we can kind of toggle on. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Just why? There we go. Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know, that yellow is kind of okay, but it's like, it's missing something. Nope. I don't know if I like that green. There's a cool tool. that Adobe has, even though I hate Adobe. Here, look at triad. And then we can say, why is there 6 though? Why are you doing that? Like this kind of gives you, you can see visualize different color schemes that you might like. So it's like I've got this red and blue, so something that goes with it is that yellower, that yellower bit, like this. A lot like the original. Well, actually, the original kind of fits in there. What if we keep the player the original color? Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That looks great. Hey. They look almost like the Among Us guys. Yeah, I like that. So how can I make this more my own? Just other than the color scheme change. Like maybe, see, it's so simple. There's not much you can do. Like if you get rid of any of these pixels, then it doesn't look like an ostrich head. Maybe like we add a darker blue as like a feather accent or something, like, oops. We want pencil tool, which is B. Like a like shading or something like that. And then yeah. And then maybe you can add like a darker shade of red here or something in here. And then a darker shade here, So it's like, because we're not limited by, in the old school days, they were, only had access to so many colors or whatever. And each color, it was more complicated to draw and render or whatever. So maybe we just do a little bit of shading and get a little fun with that. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. Yeah, that's looking cool. And then here, maybe this bottom row is shaded. And then if, the wing is up like that, maybe this is shaded. And then like How does that look? Maybe stick with the bottom shading here. No, that doesn't look as good. So yeah, maybe we do just you only got so many pixels to work with here, but does that look like something? Yeah. 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 And then we can do the little bit darker for the back here. And then maybe the bottom as well, like anything kind of right here. And then kind of thinking maybe the ostrich eye is a little more eye-catching or something, you know. But let's see, we need a little bit darker of the red for some red shading. I don't know. That looks a little weird, huh? I think I like that. And then maybe there's like some shadow or something when the legs are crossed, you know? Like that. I feel like that'll look weird, but maybe not. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. Maybe we just stick with the pure red legs or whatever. That is looking pretty cool though. So that's the original, and there's mine. And then is there anything else? Yeah, maybe like slightly brighter eyes for the ostrich. You know, just a little bit to kind of make it stand out a bit. And then that's looking pretty cool. Yeah. I think I like that. Nice. Look at how cool it looks all small like that. That looks sick. So we can save this as just player. I don't know if I would call this an atlas, because the atlas is kind of like where you have all the sprites, but I'll just call it atlas. Oh. Yeah, so we want to turn that off. Yeah, that's what we want to save. Save as the atlas. Yes. Yes. Cool. So we've got our player atlas here. So the first step is to tell our main.lua that we have a new drawable, and drawable is what Lua can draw. So we have to tell it, this is weird. I thought this would be in the main. I feel like we should do it in main. But yeah, I feel like I really should do it in main. I'm trying to think of a reason not to do it in main. Like, well, if I've got all the sounds in main and whatnot, I think it only makes sense. So we can say player player atlas gets love.graphics.new image. For some reason, let me just make sure I'm still recording. Yeah. Add image Lua love. Yeah, love.graphics.new image. And then it takes a path. Okay. Yeah, so I had that right. But we need to make sure the path is in our repository, which would go right here. So yeah, this Ostrich Atlas 1 was my old one. When I had the bigger resolution, I did a little bit of that shading. And then I gave him like some goggles, which I thought was kind of cool. But, you know, with pixels this tiny, you can't add that amount of detail, but yeah. Let's see. So it's in pics. It's in source pics. Source pics. JAWS player atlas.png. So now this player atlas is a drawable image, which I can do love.graphics.draw and then say, hey, draw this thing, add an X and Y. But we want to add in our ostrich class, we want to add another field called image. Well, and have it equal to player atlas. Yeah. So now instead of drawing this rectangle, we're going to right here. If it's facing right, so yeah, we want to switch this. Oh, see, look, we set up. So we want to do. Where do we set up this quad? Right here. We got to say that. Oh, see, look, yeah. So I guess this is where I used to have it, where in the player class I had the image instead of in the main. But that would mean that it allocates an image for every instantiation of ostrich, which is unnecessary. So now that we are assigning self.image to player atlas, or yeah, we're assigning player atlas to self.image. Is that the right thing? We want to do maybe we call this self.atlas. Give it the player atlas, and then we need to make the quad right here with starts at the 0 and 0. So like the top starts at the top left of this image file, and its width is 16, which we can do this to make it better, and then self dot height, and then the dimensions of the atlas, which Lua or Love rather has a function called getDimensions that you can pull on any drawable, and our drawable is the self.atlas. I think I can do that. Gosh, atlas doesn't look like a real word, huh? At least to me right now. So now we have a quad called Ostrich Sprite that is, so like this first one, or like this quad will be the very first frame of the ostrich. So in our we've got some things up here to help us do the animation cycle. So this can be the self.atlas. So yeah, this draw function takes the atlas, then the quad, then the x and y, and then rotation, x scale, y scale, and I forget what the last one is, but we can look that up. Well, love 2D, draw image. Right here. So an X and Y rotation, a scale X, and then an X offset. Origin offset. I'm not sure why. Maybe we don't need that. Okay, let me see if I can find where our animation. So I had the animation working on the previous branch. And I got it. I got a tutorial for the animation on some YouTube video I looked up, but it's not. I don't follow it exactly how the tutorial did it, but it's like the same idea. So here, I guess in our update function above our sounds, we can do our animation cycle. So yeah, this viewport takes in this set viewport function needs to be called upon a quad. Or I guess, shoot. Yeah, I guess I don't know why it would need to be a quad and not an atlas, because you're kind of giving it, you're giving it the dimensions of the quad anyway. But let me see. I just want this. So yeah, it does need to be. So I guess just Lua likes the things in a quad. Likes drawable things in a quad. But it's an X, a Y, and a width and a height. So on our animation cycle, an X and Y, yeah, it's going to start this is saying it's going to start drawing it at every top leftmost pixel, and then it's 16 wide, which I should do the self.width by the self.height. So this is where I had this X offset to move the quad. So I'm setting the viewport of the quad at, if I'm not moving and I'm grounded, it's going to be that very first frame. And then see, yeah, this is all messed up. But let's see. So yeah, frame 1 or frame, oh my gosh, yeah. Okay. We'll see if I can figure this out again. This animation timer 1 should just be this, because I So it's like I need this X offset. I can say for the first frame it's 0, so like self.width times 0, but then the second frame will be the self.width of an offset. So it's like setting the viewport 1 ostrich width to the right, and then that'll be frame 2 or whatever. Trying to think of why I had this set up like this. This was from that tutorial on YouTube I saw. But if we look at the logic, we'll probably be able to figure it out. First of all, just going to get rid of all these ones. I don't have speed scale anymore. Yeah, so that was actually because the thing is, if we have a consistent animation, like in speed tier 1, he walks. But in speed tier 5, he's like, so we do need to change the timer based on the speed tier somehow. So, oh, but look at that. Yeah. So, yeah, look, that's what I did here is I'm scaling the speed tier by shrinking it, saving that as speed scale, and then the animation timer will get smaller the faster. Wait. Yeah. So the higher the speed tier, the ultimately higher the speed scale is. So the higher the speed scale is, the more will be taken off of this animation timer, which will make it faster. But this needs to be self, and this doesn't have a 1. So this W is actually space, because I used to have it the WASD for player 1 because I had the arrow keys for player 2, but now there is no player 2, so that'll be okay. And then this yeah. So anytime I'm doing this hard-coded 100, it should actually be the self.width. Why are they both 100 though? Because set viewport takes an X and a Y and then a width and a height. So why was it a square? Oh, you know what? I think when I was doing that, the ostrich grounded was a square, because I was just doing whatever. But now I'm trying to make it, more accurate. So, yeah, and then so like this is all hard coded in the X offset, which I'll need to fix. But And this one is like flapping its wings. So when you hit jump button and you're already in the air, it sets its viewport to the downward wing real quick and then back to the upwards wing one. So I think I need this speed scale after all. And its X offset is going to be 16 wide. So the ostrich sprite starts off at the first one, the first frame. So like, yeah, let's look at this animation code. So it's saying, basically I have this thing called animation timer, and I'm making it smaller every frame by delta time. So it'll get smaller and smaller until it's smaller than or equal to 0, at which point I'm resetting the animation timer, and then I'm incrementing the frame. And by incrementing the frame, I need to do something. The frame is how I'm going to be using the X offset. And then I'm saying if the frame is bigger than the total amount of frames, reset your frame back to 1. And then reset your X offset back to, it would be 0 once you're at frame 1, but then the next frame would be, there we go. So the speed scale, when it's in speed tier 0, the speed scale will be 0. Meaning animation timer is just getting itself, which is currently 1 over the FPS. See, so this is why I think that having it set up like this makes it so that you can scale the speed. So maybe, well, yeah, because if you increase the frames per second, it'll become a smaller and smaller number on the animation timer. So it should be going faster and faster the smaller the number is. Is that right? Yeah. But then, yeah, because I'm not really, in the current code, I'm not really changing this FPS ever. So then why would I be using it, you know? So maybe I do use it as that, as the speed up, because the higher the FPS, it'll be higher the FPS, the smaller the fraction, because FPS is the denominator. What am I looking at? I'm trying to go to the animation logic here. So yeah, maybe instead of speed scale, I set FPS to its current speed tier multiplied by that constant. So the animation timer will decrement by the frames per second, which is dependent on the speed tier. So yeah, it should go, the animation timer should be shorter and shorter the higher the speed tier, which is correct. Then I'm saying if speed tier is bigger than 0, meaning like I'm actually moving, then moving and I'm grounded, then, so yeah, maybe I say like player grounded animation, and then player aerial animation, and then I also need the skid animation, which will be easy enough. So now I need to calculate the X offset depending on what frame I'm at. So this animation timer will only count down. Okay, so yeah, so I guess I don't know. I don't need to do an if for every frame. Just whenever I do the frame advancing logic, well, it depends because the walking animation cycle is just 4 frames. And then the stopping is 1, and then the flying is 2. So I'll need to handle the, instead of grounded animation, maybe I say this is walking because skid is also grounded, but and then total frames is for the walking animation because those are the only ones I need to cycle through. The other 2 are a little different because skid just needs to happen if skid is true, and then the flying one is wings up unless jump is pressed, and then it kind of flaps. You could kind of see it down there, but so yeah, I'm scaling the animation timer by the frames per second, which is determined by the speed tier right here. Yeah. And then as long as we're grounded, we're decrementing from that animation timer. Once that animation timer hits 0 or lower than 0, then we're going to reset the animation timer and then increment the frame. So my my logic here, or my reasoning here, is that this X offset needs to be related to the frame. Because if frame is greater than 4, so once it hits frame 5, then I'm resetting frame to 1, and then I'm resetting its X offset. So I don't quite need this way. Hold on. See, yeah, this is throwing me off because this code here is not part of this if statement. I'm just saying, like, hey, loop frame back to 1. But then even that, like, this should probably be here, yeah. Oh, no, it's because... Yeah, where should I put this? Because right now it's like in the middle of this other if statement. But I guess that's okay. So yeah, increment the frame and then set its X offset to, yeah, whatever frame it is. So if frame starts at 1, that's why I do the -1, because the X offset for frame 1 will be 0. So I'm saying 1 minus 1 is 0 times self width is 0. That's frame 1's X offset. Which I guess means I don't need, well, no, yeah, this is just like, this one is like the standing still. I'll just call it viewport. And then if I'm moving, because there's 2 cases in which we'll show that first frame. 1 if we're standing still, 2 if we're walking and the cycle gets back to that first frame. So we do need it in 2 spots. So I'm saying loop the frame back to 1 if it's greater than 4, and then set X offset. So then on frame 2, it would be 2 minus 1, which is 1, 1 times self width, which is 16, giving the effect of on frame 2, its X position determined by this X offset would be 16. So then on frame, for the 4th frame, the last one of it walking, it would be 4 minus 1, which is 3. 3 times 16, which is a number. That is going to be this quadrant right here of this fourth frame. So yeah. So this is where all the magic happens, along with the animation timer, because this is saying, this is determining which frame to draw from the atlas. So does my ostrich sprite is a new quad? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think well, let's see if we can do the skid. So we also need to set the X offset for grounded. So the in the air not pressing jump is wings up, which is going to be the 6th sprite. So the X offset would need to be self.width times 6. Is that right? Because 1 would give it, or times 0 would give it the first one, times 1 would give it the second one. Oh yeah, so then I would do times 5. Yeah, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And they just draw from the top left, so yeah. And then when I hit space, set the viewport to the next sprite. Okay. And then skid is the 5th, so it'd be times 4. Because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Okay. So there's a couple things to consider. This animation timer, we're kind of at the mercy of, like, I'm setting it to 1 to start with. So I guess that means, since it doesn't cycle through at speed tier 0, at speed tier 1, or yeah, so the animation timer doesn't do anything unless I'm walking. Is that right? Because yeah, I'd have to be, I'm not updating animation timer or drawing anything based on animation timer unless I'm walking. So yeah, I guess what this whole block of code does not execute until the timer's triggered. So it'll maybe I can imagine a problem. Well, I guess what I'm saying is, like, if I'm in speed tier 1, it doesn't change its first frame until that animation timer gets to 0. So it's like, I don't know if we want to do upon speed tier input, advance the frame so that it starts walking as soon as you press, which is kind of what my gut's telling me. But I guess it just depends how fast this animation timer runs out, which, since it starts at 1, wait, where am I? Oh yeah, right here. It starts at 1, but then I'm already multiplying it by 0.035 by the time it does anything. So what is 1 times 0.035? So speed tier 1, I'm so stupid. Speed tier 1 is going to be 0.035 FPS. So animation timer gets its current. What do I initialize the animation timer to? One over FPS. I guess I'm getting into some weird recursion stuff there, because animation timer is already, gosh, what am I looking at? Where is Animation timer is already defined in terms of FPS. So I need to just say shoot. I don't know. It's defined. I mean, no, I guess it's just initialized as 1 over FPS, but I'm updating it with. Okay. Yeah, that might. I guess I'm trying to figure out how fast this animation timer would be in speed tier 1. And it's 0.035. And we decided that every frame was 0.016. Like delta time was 0.016, was that right? $60 frames a second. Gosh, what did I do? 1 second divided by 60 frames is 0.016 seconds. So at speed tier 1, animation timer is getting. Gosh, it's so fast. That can't be right. Let me just. Let me just start out with FPS being the speed tier. Because then if speed tier is 1, FPS will be 1, and then animation timer will cycle every 1 second will be 1 frame, which is way too slow. So maybe we just double that. Make it twice as fast. I guess it depends how fast they walk. Like, it would need like, I don't know. Let's just see if this even does anything, first of all. This might throw us an error here if it's expecting one more argument, but we'll see. I guess here's the moment of truth. Okay. 341. We're just missing. We're missing an end. Oops. It's the wrong frame already. Oh, that's so cute. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's cute. No way. Okay. I see you. Okay, it's going way too fast. Let me just see what speed tier gives us. Huh. It does look. That's so sick. Okay, so like, look at that. That's where the that's where this came in. And then this is still just like way too fast. So maybe I was onto something, or like, I don't know why multiplying it by the 0.035 is what I had. But maybe it was just a trial and error type thing. No, he's not cycling through. The turning looks better. It wasn't really cycling through when I changed that. Oh my goodness. That is so cute. So my problem is I don't think all the frames are coming out right. It looks like there's only... Let me see. I want to print out yeah, maybe I just default to making everything the object member or whatever you want to call it, so that I can print out the debugging easier. Like, what? Oh my gosh, that looked amazing. Oh, that looks sick. Okay, I mean, I obviously screwed the something on this. I must have forgot a frame somewhere. Self.frame. Okay, frame 1. Yeah, look at that. It does seem to go through all 4. It's just way too fast. It shouldn't be that fast. Oh, It's so cute. The tapping up may be changing. Maybe changing the you know what, a better way of doing this frame, because the frame is only advanced when I'm walking and grounded and whatnot. But oh my god, that's so cool. I should probably calculate frame based on x offset divided by 16. That way it'll also tell me, hey, this is frame 5 and whatnot. So maybe I'll say, see, and then here we go. I need to do that. So this might be working. It's just since it's one frame, it might be just too fast to see. But we'll see. Need to do this. Okay. And then I'm thinking that this would be player 1 x offset. Well, let me think. Yeah, it would be the offset divided by 16 and then shifted by 1. Oh my god, is that? Because if it's if offset is 0, then we want it to say frame 1. Maybe that'll work. Nope. Maybe that'll be it. Frame 1.6. Oh lordy. Maybe for now we just go back to frame. Nope. Player 1 dot frame. What the heck? It's counting the frames correctly. What did I do differently here? I don't know. I don't know what I did. Oh, is that why? That's why. God damn it. Okay. Let me try. Let me try this again. Yeah. It's still going way too fast. Like it should be, I don't know, should be walking pace, for tier 1. It's like the slowest one. So we want it to be, if it's a bigger number, it should be slower, right? Maybe not. Wow, that's so slow. Okay. So that's way too slow. Maybe twice as fast as that. Hee. And then it just goes absurdly fast. But oh my gosh, yeah, that's almost it. Should it be? See, that's just too fast. Like, that's too big of a jump. That should be closer to the last frame. That's so sick. Okay. So maybe... Maybe... a little bit slower. But I'm kind of thinking we multiply this. Right. Because we want the higher speed tiers to not be so huge. So, oh my gosh, I'm just so like if we want speed tier 5 to be half as fast as it currently is, maybe we divide by 2 or something here and then multiply it by twice as much. No. let me just see this. So slow, faster. Okay, yeah, that's looking like a better speed, but yeah, that first one is still too slow. So let me see. That's too slow. But then that's like too fast. So maybe divided by 3. I mean, this is just, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying stuff. That's getting there. That first one just needs to be faster. What am I doing? Let me see. So it should be a little bit faster than that. should be a little faster than that. Well, let's see what. See, like, look at them walk over here. Oops. Oops. So look at, here is. So it's like step, 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 step. So it's like his head is going like dun, 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 dun. So what is our speed 1? Yeah, it should be faster than that. So and then that's too fast. Because 2, that's too fast to be speed tier 2. So maybe we, if it's, gosh. There's got to be a smarter way to do this. Like, we want it, this is like the scale. This the speed tier scale, but then yeah, I think I was onto something with this. Like, let me just see. It needs to be way faster than that. Oops. See, yeah, that's just way too fast. That should be, how do I do this? What do I do? It needs to, I guess I can do a, instead of solely basing it off speed tier, yeah, it needs to be, because I'm trying to avoid just saying like, hey, if speed tier 1 FPS is this speed, if speed tier 2 FPS is this speed, if speed tier 3 FPS is this speed, because then you just like, I mean, that would be fine and it would work. I would just have to hard code every speed combo. But I'm trying to see if there is a better way, or like a more, succinct way. But the problem is since it's calculated by speed tier, which is a whole number, the 5 is just so different than the 1. Yeah, maybe if this is just a bigger number or a bigger fraction. See, that's just way too fast already. That's so freaking fast. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to see if the higher the denominator, Yeah, multiplying it by a constant is not the way to do it. It would be like, gosh, I don't know. Let me see. That's looking closer, honestly, actually. That should be a bit faster. It should be like dot, 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 for his forward head. So maybe that's a little too fast. That's not bad. Okay. Yeah. I kind of want this to be a little faster at the top end. This is sick. This is sick. So yeah, one tricky thing about the game is when you're in the air, you cannot change your speed tier. So whatever you kind of launched at, until you touch the ground again, you can't change your speed tier. But okay, so I'm noticing a bug where if I oh jeez, how does that see, and why is that kind of freaking out there? I'm noticing a bug where if I hold both left and right, then I'm running right, then I skid, but I keep holding left. Now I'm holding left and he's still moving right. I'm not really sure how to address that. Not really sure how to address that, but let's see if we can figure out the flapping here. 'Cause here. I was just doing the arrow keys. I wasn't testing the space key, which might have had the right flapping. Yeah. It's just so fast, with one frame. So if we could double that. Because, it looks like it does something, but it should be longer than that. So we would need to do a jump animation timer thing. Which let's say we've got a jump timer, and once we hit jump, we're gonna increment jump timer by our delta time. And then if jump timer is greater than a fifth of a second or a tenth of a second, then jump timer gets 0 again. And we need to draw the jump. Yeah, we need to do something like, we need to say if timer is greater than 1, reset jump timer and draw the wings up. Otherwise, as like, or as soon as this is pressed and not grounded, then you draw the flap. Draw the flappy bit. And then only when jump timer is greater than 1 do you draw the other flappy bit. Downwards flappy bit. Oh no. Can you imagine doing this stuff without compiler stuff? Okay. Not quite. But so basically the idea is if not self-grounded, you draw, gosh, let me see the, so the upwards wing is the fifth one. Sixth one is the downwards wing. So upwards wing. Okay. So I'm saying first, if you're not grounded and you press jump, you're going to default to that upwards wing. But then I'm setting a jump timer to a couple frames. Or like I'm incrementing jump timer by delta time, which after a couple frames it'll be bigger than 0.5, at which point you reset to jump timer. And only when jump timer is now I want to do it backwards. If jump timer is greater than 5. This, I don't like the way this looks. This is all busted. Okay, what am I trying to do here? If up is pressed. Oh, you know what? Well, so this is only when up is pressed and I'm already in the air. But wait, no. Yeah, okay. I think I just need to split this out a bit. So like if I'm not self-grounded, meaning I'm in the air, you draw your wings up. However, if you're in the air and you're pressing space, which that's redundant, then you're going to draw this. So maybe I do a while jump timer is smaller than 1/5 of a second, draw this one instead. So anytime I press up, I'm incrementing the jump timer by delta time. And while it's smaller than 2, meaning it was pressed and jump timer hasn't gone over 2, draw the downwards flap, and then I'll say if jump timer greater than 0.2, then there's got to be a better way to do this. If jump timer is greater than 2, then just draw your wings up again. I'm thinking oh yeah, this is fucking okay. I'm thinking 1/5 of a second is way too long, but I just want to see if it's working. Oh no. It's the while loop. It's the while loop. Just like last time I fucked that up. It's the while loop. Okay. If jump timer is less than 1/5 of a second, then you draw wings down. Else you draw wings up and then reset jump timer. Okay, let's see that. I still think 1/5 of a second is too long. Huh? Maybe not. Maybe it needs to be longer. Let me see if 1/2 a second. See, I would think that would change the length of time. So if it's not self-grounded, draw that. Oh shit, it's the same problem. It's only going like once a frame because this is... I need this... Huh. Um, because the problem is, or maybe I have to also say, like, if jump timer is, gosh. Because the problem is, it's just drawing wings up, and jump timer doesn't get executed, or jump timer doesn't get, I need this to be outside of this logic, because that only gets called once. So pressing that will do my jump timer, and then I'll just need to say if my jump timer is smaller than the 1/5 of a second, then you're drawing the nope. You're drawing the wings down. And then otherwise, that means it's great. Once jump timer gets greater than 2, you're just going to go back to drawing. Oh yeah, that's right. The 5th, the wings up, and then you're going to reset jump timer. Nope. Shoot. Oh. I saw him flap his wings a bit. 5. Oh, shoot. 5 is wings up, 6 is wings down. Shoot, man. Because the question is, if I'm not grounded, what do I draw? Well, it depends on if your jump timer, if you've pressed jump, So if you're not grounded and your timer is smaller than 2, smaller than a 1/5 of a second, then you're going to draw the wings down. Otherwise, this is messed up. So when do I reset jump timer? Because I don't want jump timer to just keep getting bigger. I'm so dumb. I'm like, if jump timer So that's saying, like, if the jump timer has elapsed, then just reset it to 0, and it won't increment until you press space again, and then it'll only increment until it's 0.2, and then it'll get reset to 0 again. Why are you not? really do just need a print jump timer. I did it again where I didn't, do the member version of this. So toString player.1 jump timer. So the problem with it is currently is jump timer never gets reset. So, well, oh lordy. Yeah, see, jump timer needs to be increasing once I press jump, not only when I press jump. So, yeah, it's so yeah, the problem is it updates with delta time for every frame that I'm pressing up, which isn't right, but that's what it's doing. It's tricky. I'm sure there's like a super easy way to do this that I'm not thinking of. Like, I don't know the elegant way to do this. Like, I'm thinking I can set a flag, like, flapped or something. And then if it was flapped, increase, with delta time until it gets past a certain barrier. But that just seems wrong to me. Let's see. We give ourselves a flag called flapped. Set it to false. Now if we press this, if we press up while we're in the air, then flapped gets true. And then basically, so like if flapped, meaning like, god damn it, if self.flapped, that means up was pressed when we're in the air, then we need to increment jump timer by its jump timer, or jump timer gets itself plus delta time. And then if self.jump timer greater than a tenth of a second, then we're gonna reset jump timer to 0. Okay. This isn't right. It's like deceptively tricky, because if it's flapped, if you press up when you're not grounded or whatever, then I'm saying self-flapped is true. And if self-flapped is true, then we're going to draw... Why do I just always forget it? The fifth one is up, 6 is down. So this is the flappy one. So if flapped, then draw the flappy one. And then I guess right here I'll say every time you press, well, I want to reset jump timer differently than that, but okay. Basically, oh gosh. If self dot if not grounded, default to drawing wings up. But if not grounded and space was pressed, then we do this flap logic. Shoot. Oh shit, what the heck? What? Oh my god, okay. This got messy quick. So if I'm in the air, default to drawing wings up. But if space was pressed, set your jump timer to 0. Self-flapped. Is true. Then if you're flapped, then you draw the flappy bird and then increment your timer by delta time. And that flag will not get set false until the jump timer is greater than 1, at which point you'll be not flapped anymore. And then if you're not flapped anymore, if you're in the air, it'll be wings up. Jump timer still. Fuck. Jump timer is not increasing unless I'm pressing. This is the same freaking problem. I don't get why though, because jump timer should be did it there for the first time. Oh my god, it's so tricky. It works the first time. Shoot. So this self-dot flap gets false. It's overriding true. Yeah, when it shouldn't. So if you're not grounded, draw wings up. If space is pressed, then you're flapped. And if you're flapped, draw the Flappy Bird. And then increment your jump timer by delta time. If your jump timer is greater than half a second, then you're no longer flapped. And then I need to reset jump timer, no? Set your jump timer back to 0, and then you'll be flapped as false. And then if space is pressed, then you should have flapped true again. So why is true not... Why is it just false and not... greater than 5? That's not right. Shoot. My inkling was that since jump timer was still greater than 0.5, that's why flapped is false. Yeah, see, jump timer is just, needs to be reset to 0 upon flapping, duh. And then if it's greater than 5. But see, then why was it not well, let me see. So, hold on a second. Yeah, jump timer should be getting reset, man. I'm so stupid. Okay. Do I need that one? I see, and my reasoning for because oh no, that's okay. Yeah, we can delete that because it won't increment unless we're flapped, and we're only flapped for a little bit of time. And then if whenever we press space, it'll just get set to 0, so that's okay. So it's a little faster than that. Yes, dude, yes. That's the shit. That looks awesome. That looks sick, man. I mean, we're getting some weird pixels. Some weird pixels on it. That was sick. Gosh, that's awesome. Yeah, we're just getting some weird pixels every once in a while. Do you see that in front of the ostrich? Get like little blue pixels every once in a while. I'm not exactly sure. But we got animation working. Got the sprite made. We got the walking animation. We got the flapping animation. We got the skidding animation. I'll need to check if there is sound on the flap, which there probably is. Yeah. So next time I'll be adding that flappy sound, which will be easy to implement. And then I'm not exactly sure how to go debugging why it looks, well, I'm getting some pixels wrong every once in a while, moving fast or whatever, but that is awesome. Okay. That's a huge success today. You know, we went from a white box to a little homie. That's so cool. So yeah, once I add that flappy sound, that's so cool. Yeah. Big successful day again. This wraps up, 1 week of daily programming. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's the most progress I've made on game programming stuff ever. And we figured out the animation not too bad. Like I was understanding why it was set up the way it was. And it's not too complicated. But yeah. Next, let's get a little scary because the I'll see if I can research why I was getting some of those weird pixel aberrations. See if I can't figure out how to fix that next episode along with the flappy sound. And then it's going to be collision. I'm going to add a platform. And then have to refactor my grounding logic so that if it detects a platform, it can treat that as a ground rather than right now I just have ground hard coded at Y is 36 or whatever. Virtual height minus 36. But yeah, big successful day. Thanks for watching.